Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing, always Coca-Cola.
Oh, a wild and enthusiastic crowd ready for the action here at Park Place Lanes. Last week it was Paul St. Pierre knocking off our number 4 seed Rich Hallberg. Today he takes a crack at number 3 seed Chris Sargent. The winner today will be back next week to face our number 2 seed Gary Carrington in the semifinal match. And the winner of that one will be here in 2 weeks to face number 1 seed Charlie Willie for the spot in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Paul St. Pierre to start the match. And here's an unusual leave right off the start.
Yeah, that being the 1, 2, 7, 8, and 9.
With wood, though, and he's got it. Made a little easier with the wood. Keeping everything in play. And right back in the pocket for strike on spare.
Nice looking ball there, breaking from right to left and right dead in the 1-3 pocket. Never a doubt here. Strike on spare.
And now here's a young bowler who's got a terrific record here on Stars and Strikes. Christ Sargent, 6-1 in singles competition. Dan mentioned in the open the 1995 Tournament of Champions. That was the last time Christ Sargent was here in singles competition. He won the Tournament of Champions with consecutive victories over Gary Carrington and Paul Berger.
Just missing the triangle, the 5, 8, and 9.
That was a big stretch for Chris back in the spring of '95, Dan. He won the Tournament of Champions here, and several weeks earlier he rolled his high triple of 530. It's about one of the highest ones you'll ever see. In the pocket, spare leave for Chris.
3, 6, and 10.
And the spare. First mark for Christ Sargent. Running the 3, 6, and 10 into the corner. Paul St. Pierre on a strike. Make something happen with this second ball now.
He's got 4 horsemen left, plus the 6 and a 9. Piece of wood in between the 6 and a 9. Just 6 on the strike.
Nine for 45 through 3.
As Paul St. Pierre gets ready to roll on lane 31, I'd like to congratulate the winners of the second WCBC Pro Tour event, which was held at the Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. On the women's side, Carol Downey. Been in the winner's circle quite a few times. And another fellow on the men's side has won more than anyone. That's Tom Oster.
Wow. Yeah, he can bowl a little bit.
Yes, he can. Still waiting for him to make his first appearance on our show. 51 through 4 for Paul St. Pierre.
You're talking about the WCBC Tour. Reminds us that we also want to make everyone aware that as you travel around, find out if there's going to be a senior Pro Tour event near you. Be able to get a look at some of the senior bowlers in competition. A relatively new tour. The senior tour for men 50 and over and women 45 and over.
What'd you look at me for?
Because it's going to be very soon. That's why. Sooner for you than me. And I know that. Do you have to be 50 or over to do the commentary on the senior tour, too?
36 through 3 for Christ Sargent. Trails by 9.
Oh, big strike, and that was a powerful strike for Christ Sargent. Wow.
Tiger Woods of Candlepin bowling with that ball. Mercy. Those 10 pins just flew out of there. Good looking ball for Paul, but he's going to be left with a 7, 9, and 10, but a makeable spare leave with the wood. Tough choice. He might go right after 10 pin and sweep everything to the left, or maybe go right down the center of the lane and use those pieces of wood.
No.
He had to get something to get the 10 pin. It's not going to have enough momentum to knock it over.
Paul last week with games of 112, 120, and 143. So he had an upward trend going. That's what you want. And that'll be a 10 for Paul and a 61.5 here in game 1. Big first ball, and he'll have a single pin. Last week here on Stars and Strikes, no one made a single pin for a spare. There were 4 chances. All 4 were missed. Paul St. Pierre capitalizes on that one.
He knows this week he cannot afford to miss any of those. You have to get the ones you're supposed to get, single pins, and then make a few shots that most people aren't expecting you to make.
Chris Sargent rolling on a strike. Just lost that one a little bit to the right. Ooh, looked like he might have had an opportunity for a spare. Just came in a little bit high on the head pin.
We'll give him 7-pin drop on the strike in the lead, at least temporarily, by a pin. But now he's opposite a spare in the 6th.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes brought to you in part by Tri-State Megabucks, and now with Mega Cash. Choose your dream. Tri-State Megabucks. Into the Brooklyn pocket, and it will be a rocking 9-drop on the 3-pin. And the wood lining up nicely for Chris.
That wood is going to get punished. Oh.
Well, Chris has marked 3 times on lane 31, but he has yet to solve lane 32. So he'll try and do that next time he steps up. 3 marks for each bowler, 2 spares and a strike. And a half Worcester on Paul's spare fill.
Paul put 2 fingers up as soon as he threw the ball. He knew the ball was going to be on the 2-pin or 3-pin and drove it right straight back.
Uh-oh. Needs a big 3rd ball here and gets it with a 9-box.
Great out by Paul St. Pierre.
Back on the head pin this time, and he'll shoot at the 5-8 for a possible spare. Yes. Mark number 4 for Paul St. Pierre. And now Chris Sargent working on a spare, and this is the lane he has not marked on yet, lane 32. No, he might have a mark this time, though. Almost a strike. He'll shoot at the 2-pin.
Big 9 fill on the spare gives him 81 through 6 and an 8-pin advantage to this point.
Oh yes, no doubt there. There's the first mark on lane 32. Chris takes the lead by 9+ this ball. You can see the look in Chris's eyes when he looks at the pins. He's just got that steely concentration. His eyes never leave the target pin. while he's making his approach.
Just 7. So both bowlers make minor mistakes on marks. 5 and 7 box for Chris, and of course the 2 will fill on Paul's spare in the 6th. He'll fill a spare here though, and again almost got the half Worcester again.
Paul has 4 marks to this point, but his fills on the last 3 have not been what he would want. A 6 on a strike and then 2 and 4 on the spares. And also had a 6 box mixed in there as well.
Missing the head pin to the left this time.
Oh, great recovery. And he touched the 10 pin, but not enough. Great effort. And the 10 for a 114, but a 114 with 4 marks, Dan.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing. I'm sure Paul will agree. But then you look for the positive things and say, well, if I didn't have the 4 marks, I'm really in trouble. So you have to take it, but you don't want to make those mistakes the entire match, especially against the likes of Chris.
Boy, Chris missed the head pin, and he's left with just the 1 and the 2 for a spare. And he's got it. That's mark number 5 for Chris Sargent, and he will increase his lead. Chris Sargent from Haverhill, Mass. He and his wife Jean have 2 children, Allison and Patrick. Chris works for the city of Haverhill in the Parks Department and is also an auxiliary police officer in Haverhill. 9 drop on the spare. Chance for another. Got to check out the wood, though. Chris walked up to take a look.
You should just be able to push everything right straight back. Shouldn't be a problem.
There it is. Ouch.
Yes. 122, 132 in the 10th plus the bonus ball, so you're right around that 140, a quiet 140.
Well, last week after 1 game, Paul St. Pierre was trailing by 27. He's going to be in a similar spot here this week. 7 fill and a 139 for Chris Sargent. So the lead is 25 for Sargent over Paul St. Pierre. 139 to 114. We're back with game 2 and details on our bonus ball contest from Park Place Lanes when we come back.
Going, gone! These are the final weeks to get top quality furniture at unbeatable prices. Bernard's Furniture is closing its doors forever in just a few weeks. Bernard's is going out of business with a bang! On Saturday, November 9th, come to Bernard's and you could win $1,000 while saving thousands on fine furniture for your home. Remember, these are the final week for huge savings. After this, they're going, gone! So get down to Bernard's Furniture and Bedding, 655 Mast Road in tax-free Manchester, New Hampshire.
Hey, nice bowl of shredded wheat.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you could eat total and get 100% of 11 vitamins and minerals. Try to get that from shredded wheat, and you'll have to add more than just milk.
Like what?
Well, you could try strawberries for vitamin C.
Oh, that sounds good.
Lima beans for iron, eggs for some vitamin E.
You gotta be kidding.
Some peanuts for niacin, or a nice piece of liver for some B6.
I'll try the total.
Whole grain total, 1 bowl, 100%. Hey, don't eat it just for me.
New Honey Nut Cheerios, and they're all for me.
Nobody can say no to new Honey Nut Cheerios. No, you can't say no to the Honey Nut O's and new Honey Nut Cheerios.
What's new is a better blend of real golden honey for a better taste and a bigger crunch.
Nobody can say no to the Honey Nut O's and new Honey Nut Cheerios. No, you can't say no to new Honey Nut Cheerios.
It's new.
Everybody loves this stuff. See you later, Mom.
Hey, how about about a little reward?
A dozen roses.
A brownie filled with fudge.
A brownie.
Presenting Sweet Rewards Double Fudge Brownies.
Ooh, did you say double fudge?
Yep, surrounded by a dark, moist brownie.
Pardon me for drooling.
Go ahead. They're fat-free.
Get out.
Sweet Rewards Double Fudge Brownies. They're from Betty Crocker, so your whole family will love them.
You know, forget the flowers. I'll take a dozen of these.
Honey, how come you don't bake for breakfast anymore?
I never baked for breakfast.
Yeah, that's right. I'm confusing you with my mother.
Didn't your therapist warn you about that?
Jeez, I'd kill for cinnamon bread or...
Streusel?
Oh, Betty Crocker makes cereal.
It's for people like you who crave home-baked taste and wives like me who leave it to Betty.
Brown sugar, cinnamon, icing swirls.
And it's low in fat. Was your mother's?
Nothing my mother made was low in fat. Except for me.
New Betty Crocker cereals, home-baked taste by the spoonful.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Tri-State Megabucks. Once again, bringing you the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions.
As always, at the end of the hour, our bonus ball contest, now worth $130. And, of course, you can't win unless we have your postcards. Send in regular-sized postcards only. Be sure not to send in those big hotel postcards that are 3 times regular size, because we just throw those out. But be sure to include your name, your full address, the number from 1 to 10, the number of pins you think will drop on the bonus ball at the end of the show. And mail that on in to Park Place Lanes, Route 28, Windham, New Hampshire, 03087. If the number on your card matches the pinfall, you win the cash. Plus, you and the bowler each win a brand new set of bowling balls from Paramount Industries in Medway, Mass. Our good friend Bob Perella. So good luck. Chris Sargent leading off game 2 with a 25-pin lead.
5-7-8. He's going to try to clip that wood and the 5-pin probably, and see if he can push everything to the left.
Yeah, not quite. And Chris has got to wait for that wood now. And it settles, well, I thought it settled right in front of the 8-pin. And just as Chris started to throw, it moved again, but he converted it anyway. See what happened on the spare attempt.
May have been just a tad too high on the wood. Pushed the 5-pin in front of the 7, came back and got the 7, but left the 8. Right back in the pocket again. He doesn't miss the head pin, or he hasn't missed the head pin with that first ball too many times. 6-9 left for Chris for a spare.
And the spare. That will be mark number 7 for Chris Sargent to this point. 6 spares and a strike. Paul St. Pierre trying to come from behind for the 2nd week in a row.
6-7-10. Piece of wood in between the 6 and 10. Also one out in front. And a 3rd piece over near the 7-pin.
Question is, will anything get over there? No. Well, they got over there, but not in the right spot.
Slid right behind the 7.
And the 10. Let's see what happened here.
Oh.
2 pins over there, just behind the 7. Ball came up a little short on that ball. 4 horsemen plus the 9, plus wood. Ooh, looked pretty good on the way down.
Yeah, actually the wood deadened the ball, deflected it sharply to the left, and didn't even get the 4 horsemen, let alone the 9.
So it's a 9 box, and now Chris Sargent will extend his lead. It's at 26, plus this ball. Spare fill. Candlepin Stars and Strikes brought to you in part by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Come to Salem and save. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire. And the big fill, and the 5-pin fell the wrong way. It's a 9 drop.
And he leaves just a 9. Trying to make it 2 in a row and increase his lead.
Chris is 3 for 3 on single pins for spares in this match. 2 marks in a row. The lead now 35 And the fill over on lane 31, and this time the 5-pin doesn't go down at all, which might have been a break.
Actually walked it to the left a little bit. It's off the spot, but I think you're right, Doug. I think you'd probably rather have the 5-pin up there.
Left side of the wood, maybe?
Either end to get it moving, but...
Oh, not quite.
Just
Tried the right
bit,
side.
Yeah, just to the right of the red line that time, and almost got the 8-pin for the spare.
Takes the 10. Here it is again. Oof. Paul St. Pierre off the head pin. For the spare, ooh, did what he had to do, but didn't get quite enough of the head pin.
Right. It's a little too light. Leaves himself to 4, 7, and 9. The opposite of spare 6, so he's going to drop a few more to the lead. The lead now is 42-17 in this game.
Beginning of the hour, we showed you the 5 bowlers who qualified in this series. The 5th place finisher, Paul St. Pierre, had a 6.49. The 6th place finisher, just 6 pins back, was Rick Barassa. Hasn't been here for a while. Just missing.
I don't know if he's got enough angle to carry the 7-pin. Let's see.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
he does.
Using all of the lane to the right, spraying all of that wood from right to left, and Paul gets an important mark in the 4th. And we will pause right here. Stars and Strikes rolls on from Park Place Lanes after these messages.
Introducing new Honey Nut Clusters. With a taste everybody will love. New Honey Nut Clusters combines honey toasted flakes and honey nut clusters for a delicious honey nutty taste. New Honey Nut Clusters. The taste everybody loves.
Hi, I've been telling you that at Rockingham, Toyota, Dodge, Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire, you will find the best price from a dealership that cares. Well, let me tell you what you will find when you get there. First, when we can display Toyota, Dodge, and Nissan at one location, this is a rare opportunity for you to view the best selection of cars, trucks, and minivans in New England. Second, we are constantly adding cars and trucks to our used car inventory. So if it's a new or used car or truck, just remember Rockingham, Toyota, Dodge, Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire.
Hey, nice bowl of shredded wheat.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you could eat total and get 100% of 11 vitamins and minerals. Try to get that from shredded wheat, and you'll have to add more than just milk.
Like what?
Well, you could try strawberries for vitamin C.
Oh, that sounds good.
Lima beans for iron, eggs for some vitamin E.
You gotta be kidding.
Some peanuts for niacin, or a nice piece of liver for some B6.
I'll try the total.
Whole grain total, one bowl, 100%. Hey, don't eat it just for me.
New Honey Nut Cheerios, and they're all for me.
Nobody can say no to new Honey Nut Cheerios. No, no, you can't say no to the Honey Nut O's and new Honey Nut Cheerios.
What's new is a better blend of real golden honey for a better taste and a bigger crunch.
Nobody can say no to the Honey Nut O's and new Honey Nut Cheerios. No, no, you can't say no to new Honey Nut Cheerios.
It's new.
Everybody loves this stuff.
What's so good about the taste of apple cinnamon Cheerios?
It's an apple thing, right?
Definitely the cinnamon. No way, it's the baked-in taste.
Sliced apples, cinnamon, and brown sugar baked right into every little O of apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Baked in taste, that's what makes them good.
Have you tried multigrain Cheerios?
I did that multi-grain thing back in the 70s. I don't want to do it again. I like them low fat.
No flavor.
They're very good. I like it. It's a 90s kind of thing.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Rockingham, Toyota, Dodge, Nissan.
Chris Sargent. A good look at the eyes of Chris Sargent on that approach. Oh, he'd love that 6-pin to go, but it doesn't.
Through no fault of Chris, he was giving all kinds of body English there. 1, 2, and 6 pins left.
No. Well, halfway through the match now. Chris Sargent at 204. And with a 42-pin lead, but Paul St. Pierre working on a mark when he steps up. Chris in the Brooklyn pocket, and this will be his 4th chance at a single pin.
No, he's just throwing with authority right now, so I don't expect him to miss too many singles. Got a break there when the 3-pin went down.
And he's 4 for 4. Chris hasn't left a pin standing in this game. Paul St. Pierre fills his mark with 6, punching through the center.
2, 4, 6, and 10. Paul doesn't seem real lively for Paul right now. Again, in between, a little farther to the left, he might have cut the 2 over, or inside, he might have clipped that wood in front of the 6-10 for the shot. But he just gets a 10, needs marks. Oh boy, that
kind
was
of an explosive first ball there, but look at the leave. May get some help with the wood.
It's got to stay up. Yeah, you can see it's starting to roll back. No, it's going to stay up. Right-hand tip, have the ball take the 10-pin, hopefully, but it's going to be tough. I don't know if he can carry the 4-pin. No, he was too far left.
Well, that'll be an 8 for Paul. And Chris Sargent steps up now with a golden chance to get the lead back into the 40s again. Filling a spare with 7.
And the triangle, 5, 8, and 9.
Well, that was a tough spot with that lead, with that wood.
It was, but you notice that piece of wood came flying off the right sidewall in between the 5 and the 8. They didn't miss it by much.
It was a hard-working 9-box right there after a triangle leave. 45-pin lead. Chris on lane 31, Brooklyn pocket, and he will have a look at the 5-9 for a spare. No.
Oh, a rare miss, at least today, for Chris Sargent. Missing the object pin, which was the 5.
And this is the first time today, Dan, that Chris has gone up and rolled opens in both boxes.
He's in a slump.
An opportunity for Paul here, and he knows it.
No, he's going to shoot at the 3-6.
Oh, boy.
Oh. Well, bad luck there, hitting the object pin, but driving it right straight back.
So instead of a mark, it's just a 10, and the lead remains at 44. Don't forget, next Saturday and Sunday, we're back once again with another weekend of Candlepin action here on the Winds of New England. Saturday at noon, Candlepin skins from Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill. Sunday at noon, right back here with Stars and Strikes with the winner of this match against number 2 seed Gary Carrington.
2 opportunities there, and Paul could not cash in on either one. Lead now 44 for Chris Sargent.
well. The diamond plus the 7-pin.
Plus a piece of wood that's angled toward the 7, so don't count Chris out on this. Got a chance to make this.
Yes. Great shot.
It just goes right after the 3 and the 6 into the 5 and eventually the 7-pin.
That's 10 marks for Chris Sargent. Just one strike to this point, which is kind of surprising. Chris normally throws a bunch of them.
And right now, I can't remember. I know he must have missed the headpin at least once with the first ball, but I can't remember too many. He's got the 4 horsemen.
That's a 10 for Chris Sargent, 127, and a 2-game total of 266. So Paul St. Pierre needs 2 marks here just to keep the lead at around 30. Anything less than that, and he'll be facing a bigger deficit. Almost.
Boy, I'll tell you. No luck at all these last 3 or 4 boxes for Paul. Hit a few of them. 2 pinners chopping out the front one. Just no luck going down there for the marks. Lead is an even 50 now.
And another split. Wow.
2, 4, 7 on the left, 6, 10. We've seen it before. No wood to help him. He's going to have to split the 2 and the 4.
That's the kind of a day Paul's having. He leaves the 7-10 after that leave. An 8-box for an even 100 and a 2-game total of 214. So a commanding lead for Chris Sargent. 1 game to go. And we'll be back for it here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes when we return to Wyndham after these messages.
Everyone at Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire is very proud and excited to again be a major sponsor of Stars and Strikes. We feel that over the years, you, the bowling enthusiast, have become a very important part of our family at Rockingham. And as such, I promise that we will live up to our pledge that we will provide you the best service you have ever experienced. And if you're purchasing a new or used vehicle, at Rockingham, we pledge that we will beat any bona fide deal on any Toyota, any Dodge, or any Nissan anywhere in New England. So just remember, Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan on Route 97 in Salem, New Hampshire.
New Honey Nut Cheerios, and they're all for me.
Nobody can say no to new Honey Nut Cheerios. No, no, you can't say no to the Honey Nut O's and new Honey Nut Cheerios.
What's new is a better blend of real golden honey for a better taste and a bigger crunch.
Nobody can say no to the Honey Nut O's and new Honey Nut Cheerios. No, no, you can't say no to new Honey Nut Cheerios.
It's new.
Everybody loves this stuff.
What's so good about the taste of apple cinnamon Cheerios?
It's an apple thing, right?
Definitely the cinnamon. No way, it's the baked-in taste.
Sliced apples, cinnamon, and brown sugar baked right into every little O of apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Baked-in taste, that's what makes them good.
Have you tried multigrain Cheerios?
I did that multi-grain thing back in the 70s. I don't want to do it again. I like them low fat.
No flavor.
They're very good. I like it. It's a 90s kind of thing.
Paul Newman. His team knows the rules. Because they break every one. Hey, if you can't beat them, beat them up.
Bring the kids. We got entertainment for the whole family.
Paul Newman. Slap shot.
Tonight at 8 on Movie Watch.
On an all-new Babylon 5.
Do not interfere.
Let Maker know. Their leader has fallen.
Captain Sheridan
is dead.
Their enemies grow more powerful.
He has made a deal with these shadows.
So they must take one desperate gamble that could be their last.
Hurry. They know we're here. Take us in.
On the season premiere of
Initiating Getting the Hell Out of Here maneuver.
Babylon 5.
Today at 5 on WNDS.
Well, the crowd here at Park Place Lane's trying to inspire Paul St. Pierre. He had a big come-from-behind win last week, but he's facing an even larger deficit right now going into Game 3, trailing by 52 pins against Chris Sargent.
Not a position that I'd like to be in.
Each bowler with just one strike to this point. Paul starts with a spare. Keep in mind the triple strike pool this week is at $500 should somebody throw 3 in a row. Paul right back on the head pin. That's been part of his problem today, but look at the results. 6, 7, 8.
Should be a law against that. That looked like a pretty good ball going in there.
Paul's trying to solve this puzzle.
6, 7, 8. Well, it's easy. Just knock those 3 pins down. There's no puzzle to it. It's just trying to do it, maybe. He's got to catch that. Oh, wow. I thought his problem pin was the 6. It was not only the 6, but the 7.
So just the one mark, that trip for Paul St. Pierre. Chris Sargent kind of bounced that one a little bit, lost it to the right.
Hasn't lost much on his fastball, though.
No. And that'll be a 9. Waiting for that ball to fly by. Again off to the right. Almost the same ball. Mentioned the winner of this match gets Gary Carrington in the semifinals next week. The runner-up today gets 4th place prize money of $175 and a spare for Chris Sargent.
You just never count him out. Any shot, he's got a chance of making it, and he realizes that. 4 and 7, last 2 to go down for the spare in the second.
For Paul.
Well, Paul's going to be thinking strikes. You just got to tell yourself, put one in the pocket. Let me get that first strike. Because right now, that's what he needs. Ooh, a big swing. You get a double strike or a triple strike up there. It's a big swing. That's almost 100 pins in 3 boxes, depending on your fills. Unfortunately,
you got to hit the head pin.
That's right. Fortunately, you got to have it beyond the head pin.
Usually.
Yeah, that's right.
Paul did get a strike without that. But.
Prove that. That doesn't always have to happen, but majority of the time.
Oh, coming back almost this time for the spare. And the 10. But 10s are not good enough. As you said, Dan, even spares really aren't good enough at this point. Chris Sargent just methodically powers along. Just 6 on that fill. A very strange hit.
He's got the triangle, the 4, 7, 8, and the 9. And a piece of wood that just rolled against the 4 pin. The problem pins are obviously going to be the 8 and 9.
Maybe it wasn't there. It's a 9 box. All even in this 3rd game, but as you see, Chris Sargent had the big carryover lead. Most of it compiled in that 2nd game when he had only a 127. But Paul St. Pierre struggling to a 100. And Chris with a chance for another mark here. 24 boxes completed, and Chris Sargent has 12 marks. 50% will win you most matches here on Stars and Strikes, and Chris Sargent has the lead right now. We'll be back in just a minute.
Enjoy more time at home with high-quality games from seasonal specialty stores. Regulation pool tables by Brunswick, Olhazen, and many more. Ping pong, bumper pool, and poker tables. Token slots, foosball, air hockey, and darts. Hundreds of custom cues with free 30-day home trial. Call or come on in to Seasonal Specialty Stores for your copy of our free pool table buyer's guide. That's Seasonal Specialty Stores, 706 Route 101A, Merrimack, New Hampshire.
When somebody comes out of a coma, or at least Kathy in coming out of the coma, it's a rebirth.
I don't remember anything about the accident.
All the way along, it was, this is what you do in order to get her better.
People don't forget our way of care.
For all I could see, Kathy was the only patient in the hospital.
Ask Kathy and Sherman Gates, or ask anyone about St. Joseph Healthcare.
I couldn't have got better care if I were the president. They were incredible.
Hurlburt has it. Hurlburt Toyota, Portsmouth Avenue, Exeter, and Hurlburt Nissan, Portsmouth Avenue, Stratham.
Hi, I'm Roy Hurlburt. My family's been providing quality cars and trucks to consumers just like you for 2 generations. If you're in the market for a quality Toyota car or truck, come to Hurlburt Toyota today. I promise I'll do everything I can to make your buying experience a pleasant one. My dad, first generation.
Hurlburt Toyota, Portsmouth Avenue, Exeter.
What's so good about the taste of apple cinnamon Cheerios?
It's an apple thing, right?
Definitely the cinnamon. No way, it's the baked-in taste.
Sliced apples, cinnamon, and brown sugar baked right into every little O of apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Baked-in taste, that's what makes them good.
Have you tried multigrain Cheerios?
I did that multi-grain thing back in the 70s. I don't want to do it again. I like them low fat.
No flavor.
These are very good. I like it. It's a 90s kind of thing.
When you think about buying a pre-owned car, the last thing you want is pushy salespeople, complicated financing plans, or roadside sales. So come to Autotown for helpful and convenient staff, convenient financing, and a full service center. Autotown is an established dealer with a reputation for providing customers with a large inventory of quality, select pre-owned cars and trucks at great prices. When you're buying a car and you want a pleasant staff, convenient financing, in-house full service center, and a large selection of quality cars and trucks, come to Autotown, Route 125, Plastown, New Hampshire, 382-1700.
Back at Park Place Lanes in Windham, New Hampshire. Candlepin Stars and Strikes brought to you in part by Coca-Cola. Always the real thing, always Coca-Cola. Oh, my.
Wow. That's all I can say. Wow.
Well, Paul's keeping his sense of humor. That's
yeah,
important.
I guess you have to, and he's that type of guy anyways. That's his personality.
Oh, wow!
Because he realized there was no problem down there for that spare. Just cut the 5 into the 4 and 7. There was not a real problem. That's why he didn't get upset. Oh, my. What a spare. Like Paul St. Pierre.
That's one of the best ones we've seen in a long time. And a 7 fill.
I still say we should have a degree of difficulty in the spares, and that should be worth so many pins plus your fill. So like he could fill that with like 27 or something and be back in the match.
I'm sure he would love to, yeah. 2 in a row for Paul. Boy, that was just a superb shot.
It certainly was.
Talking about cutting a pin directly across on the same plane.
4, 5, 7, and 9. No wood.
Meanwhile, Chris Sargent carries 6 on his fill.
I just have a feeling he's going to cut this over.
Oh! Well, he did. He just didn't make it.
Actually came in contact with that 7 because it was rocking a little bit. Just missed that spare.
Well, he actually had 2 chances over there. He had the 3-pin going over, and then he had that wood in the corner that could have taken it also.
You see it rocking. It did clip it, but not enough to knock it down.
And the thin hit will carry 8, leaving the 9-10 with all kinds of wood in front.
You know, if you're a pin in front of Chris, you probably say, look, you get in front this time. I was in front last time. I don't want him throwing that ball at me. And he doesn't look like he's throwing it that hard, but that ball moves. Big arm swing. Generates a lot of speed.
Ooh, Chris was surprised at that one. I think he believed he had a spare that time. As did we. But instead, it's a 10 box. Chris could still get a 400 triple if he were able to put a few marks up here in the final 4 boxes. But in terms of the match, at least, he appears to be pretty safe, unless Paul St. Pierre would have put strikes together.
Again, put up 2 fingers. He managed 3 on the spare. Thought he was going with a half Worcester on the right again.
Oh, wow.
1 ball too late. Well, you know, there's still time. If he could put a strike up here, it'd be strike on spare, and that sets the tone for the last 3 boxes. Of course, he'd still need another strike. Just can't seem to catch that head pin when he wants to. Drops a decent 8 fill, but he needs strikes. 4-7. Couple pieces of wood. You got to be careful because it's way out in front. No,
Got
no
it.
problem.
That's 4 in a row for Paul St. Pierre. But Chris Sargent has the big lead. Chris threw that only strike back in the 4th box of the first game.
It's an interesting stat, or they just flashed up, because if you were to ask me, I would have said he has more than 1 strike, not remembering.
Oh, what a great spare. Well, he has only the 1 strike, but he does have 4 9-drops, and he converted all 4 of them into spares. And there's another great conversion right there. Mark number 13 for Chris Sargent. And the pocket hit. Will this be strike number 2? No.
You know, you zero in on that 15 marks in a 3-game match, and you're usually over that 400 triple. And this will be his 14th coming up if he is able to knock down the 7 pin.
And he is now 5 for 5 on single pins. Both bowlers working on spares as we move to the final 2. Oh, my. Paul St. Pierre with just 4. Make it 3 on the spare. Love to see him convert this. Reminder, if you're here at Park Place Lanes, either bowling on your own or if you stop by one of our taping sessions here for Candlepin Stars and Strikes, be sure to allow time for breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the Willow Tree North Restaurant, located right inside Park Place Lanes, here on Route 28 in Windham, New Hampshire. The Willow Tree North Restaurant. It's where the crew eats. And I believe they're planning to eat right after the show is over, Dan.
I think they are.
Spare in the 10th for Paul St. Pierre. That's mark number 11, actually 1 more than he had last week. 122 plus a ball. Paul also with just 1 strike today, and that was early. 2nd box of the match. Well, Paul thought he was going to get 2 more as a fill. He winds up with 5 and a 127 for a 3-game total of 341. So this match is already in the bag for Chris Sargent. Just a question of whether he's going to get a 400 triple or not. And if maybe he can fit in a $500 triple strike. He has room for that, too. Wow. A 5-10.
Needs 1 more mark for 400.
Could get it here, that would.
Yeah, he's going to clip the wood on the left. Have the ball drive through for the 5 pin.
Yes. And there it is, the 15th mark.
Still needs a decent fill on it, though.
Needs a 134 for the 400 series. There's a pretty good fill. Still room for the triple strike if he were to do it here in the last box. Strike on spare. That guarantees the 400, and now we'll see if Chris can add a little bonus money to his winnings today. He already knows that he's going to be back next Sunday at 12 noon. He'll be in our semifinal match. It'll be Chris Sargent against Gary Carrington. That will be next Sunday at 12 noon. Saturday at noon, of course, we'll see if Tom Morgan can continue his incredible run on Candlepin skins. This coming Saturday will be Tom's 7th week in a row.
It's amazing to think that very first week he needed a double strike just to come back. Well, Chris needs another strike.
Trying to keep himself alive for the bonus, and no, it won't happen. Notice how quiet it got in here right before that shot? And he'll take an 8, a 144, and an outstanding 410 for Chris Sargent with 16 marks to defeat Paul St. Pierre with a 341. Chris Sargent moves into the semifinals. We will come back and have our bonus ball contest, talk to the bowlers, tell you about next week when we come back. Don't go away.
Going, going, gone! These are the final weeks to get top quality furniture at unbeatable prices. Bernard's Furniture is closing its doors forever in just a few weeks. Bernard's is going out of business with a bang! On Saturday, November 9th, come to Bernard's and you could win $1,000 while saving thousands on fine furniture for your home. Remember, these are the final week for huge savings. After this, they're going, going, gone! So get down to Bernard's Furniture and Bedding, 655 Mast Road in tax-free Manchester, New Hampshire.
There is power in a dream, and every hour a dreamer is born. Just imagine the friends we made, the lives we touched, the glory days. 10 years of dreams, 10 years of dreams, 10 years of dreams come true.
The best selection of used cars, vans, and trucks. And with our special Ford Motors Purchase Program, you'll save thousands off our original list on low-mileage vehicles that are still under factory warranty. Right now, 96 Taurus program cars are priced at just $13,888. Low-mileage 96 Contours an incredible $11,888. And special purchase 96 Windstars are only $15,888. You can't get value like this anywhere else. So stop by the home of hassle-free, easy pricing today. Nashua Ford. The students of East Side High were all but lost until he arrived.
This is an institution of learning, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't control it, how can you teach?
His unorthodox methods.
The same people who support you are the ones that you're beating up.
And spirited determination.
You are not inferior.
Inspired everyone to reach for their dreams.
Mr. Clark is not only East Side High. Mr. Clark is like a father.
Morgan Freeman stars in Lean on Me. Tomorrow night at 8 on Movie Watch. Numbers from last night's Tri-State Megabucks drawing.
We're back on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Doug Brown with Dan Murphy, and for today, no comeback for Paul St. Pierre this time.
No, he got a rough start and had a few bad fills, and Chris Sargent just didn't let up and never let him in the game.
All right, let's chat with both bowlers. First of all, a round of applause for Paul St. Pierre, who will take fourth place prize money, $175, and Paul, the comeback strategy didn't work this time around, did it?
I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I said last week I got to start off right away, and what did I do? I waited for the last string again. You just can't do that against the caliber bowler like Chris.
Yeah, Chris didn't give you any breathing room at all.
No, he didn't. No, he was right on the head pin most of the time, and he was getting some good fills, and when he got the marks, he got them good.
Well, congratulations on the win last week and the fourth place finish. We hope to see you again soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's Paul St. Pierre, and now bonus ball contest time on lane 31. Chris Sargent with $130 up for grabs here. We're looking for our first win of the season. I don't know who's got more pressure here, Chris to throw the ball or Dan to pull out the card. So let's see. 7 is the number. Dan reaching over to the right, and 7 is a winner. for Estelle Tardif of Manchester, New Hampshire, who also says on her card, we enjoy watching Saturday and Sunday. Thanks very much, Estelle. Estelle Tardif of Manchester, New Hampshire wins $130 in the jackpot, and both Estelle and Chris Sargent have won a brand new set of bowling balls from Paramount Industries, and maybe you can use them next week when you come back for the semifinals.
No, I ain't getting rid of mine. We'll keep those.
Yeah, I guess they work pretty well for you today.
Yeah, they have been. I tried using a new set, and they didn't work, so.
Well, I guess 410 is a number you pretty much would take any week.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Not next week. We'll take a little higher.
Gary Carrington coming in. We're looking forward to it. See you then.
Yes, definitely.
All right, Chris. Thanks very much. Congratulations. Semifinals next week. Chris Sargent against Gary Carrington. Should be a good one. Next Sunday at 12 noon. Don't forget Skins Saturday at noon here on the Winds of New England. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a great week, everybody.